Good morning. So we'll get started. I'm John Samet, the chair of the committee, and I have some remarks I'm going to offer. If you'll notice on the screen, we have the statement of task for the committee. So as chair of the committee to review advances to the IRIS process and of this committee meeting, I'd like to welcome everyone. I understand we actually have quite a large crowd both in this room, another room here, and online, so thank you for your interest. The task being undertaken by this committee for the National Academies is to assess changes that have been implemented or planned to be implemented by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, for its Integrated Risk Information System, of course referred to as IRIS. Changes implemented in response to recommendations made in past National Academies reports. I want to note the following. The committee is not, emphasizing not, conducting a comprehensive review of the IRIS program, will not be commenting on the overall value of the IRIS program, and not commenting on specific IRIS assessments. It is tasked with providing timely advice on the progress that EPA has made in implementing the recommendations made by various National Academies committees and on the direction the IRIS program is taking. So the statement of task is displayed, and as you will see, it covers the items I mentioned. And again, remember what we are not doing. For anyone wanting a copy, it's available at the sign-in table and on the website. The format of today's meeting will consist of presentations and committee discussions with EPA. There will be opportunities for persons in the audience to provide comments to the committee at various times during the course of the workshop. I believe that all the slots available are full. Submitted comments are welcome. I understand that some individuals have requested opportunities to present, and we will collect those and see if they can or cannot be accommodated. So if there are any, is there anyone who would like to take advantage of an opportunity to present? If such should become available, then speak with the committee staff. And if you did sign up in advance, please confirm with the National Academy staff that you still would like to speak. And also, please remember the public is free to submit written materials to the committee that are relevant to our charge, and of course we will give those consideration. The study is on a fast track so that we ask you to get your comments to the committee by Friday, February 9th. Please remember that materials that are submitted to the committee are placed in a public access file where anyone can request to see the materials submitted. I want to note that this is an open on-the-record session. However, this is not a news conference, and any reporters who would like to talk with members of the committee are kindly asked to touch base with the National Academy's study director, Ellen Mantis, sitting to my left. I also would like to remind everyone that this is an information gathering session. That is, the committee is in the process of assembling materials that it will examine and discuss in the course of making its findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Therefore, I ask everyone here today to be extremely mindful of the fact that the committee has made no conclusions, now my favorite line, and that it would be a mistake for anyone to leave here today thinking otherwise. Comments made by individuals, including members of the committee, should not be interpreted as positions of the committee or of the National Academies. In addition, committee members typically ask probing questions in these information gathering sessions, which might not be indicative of their personal views. The committee will deliberate thoroughly before writing its draft report. Moreover, once the draft report is written, it must go through a rigorous review by experts who are anonymous to the committee. The committee then must respond to this review with appropriate revisions that adequately satisfy the National Academy's report review committee before they are considered National Academy's reports. So with that, we will move to introductions, and I'll start. So John Samet actually moved to the Colorado School of Public Health about 4 months ago as dean. My background is in internal medicine, pulmonary medicine, epidemiology, public health, and in terms of my being here as chair, I chaired the IRIS Formaldehyde Assessment Committee, the committee that examined the IRIS process, and I guess more recently the Committee on Use of 21st Century Science and Risk-Based Evaluations. Dave.
Good morning. I'm David Dorman. I am professor of toxicology at the College of Veterinary Medicine at North Carolina State University. What brought me here is with John. I served with John on both the committees that reviewed the EPA's IRIS program a few years ago, and then the antecedent committee that reviewed the EPA's draft IRIS assessment of formaldehyde. Most recently, I chaired the Committee on Endocrine-Related Low-Dose Toxicity.
Good morning. I'm Richard Shyness. I'm the Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Carnegie Mellon, and my background is in philosophy, computer science, and statistics. And I served on several committees previous relevant to this, one on food marketing and health, another on veterans disability compensation, and then the previous committee that looked at the IRIS process in 2013.
That's okay. Good morning. I'm Karen Robinson from Johns Hopkins, where I'm Associate Professor of Medicine, Epidemiology, and Health Policy and Management. I also direct the Evidence-Based Practice Center at Hopkins. My work is conducting systematic reviews and research around systematic review methodology, how to identify, synthesize, and use evidence to make decisions. I've been on 2 prior National Academies committees, including the one with Dave Dorman on endocrine low dose.
Good morning, Russ Hauser from Harvard Chan School of Public Health. I'm the chair of the Department of Environmental Health. My research and training focuses in the area of reproductive environmental epidemiology, with most of my research focused on endocrine disrupting chemicals. Recently, I've served on the low dose committee with Karen and Dave. I was also on the non-monotonic dose response committee. And I think it's about 10 years ago now, I was on the cumulative risk assessment committee, phthalates as a case example.
There, push the right button. So I'd like to say welcome to all. My name is Teresa Freiberger, and I'm the director of the Board on Environmental Studies and Toxicology here at the National Academies.
I'm George Dastum. I'm a toxicologist with Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati. My research is on use of computation and biotechnology to improve risk assessment. And I was with John on the Risk 21 report and with Russ on the non-monotonic report and many other reports dating back to the last century.
Hi, I'm Rick Corley. I am a toxicologist. I recently retired from the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and I now just sort of work as on my own person helping out with research in the areas of toxicokinetics, specifically the respiratory system. And I, too, have been on several of these committees in the past with the folks here. I guess ones that reflect to this task is the formaldehyde risk assessment, non-monotonic dose response, risk analysis issues, and I can't remember all the names, but.
I'm Lauren Zeiss. I'm with the State of California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, and that's within the California Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm a longtime risk assessor. I've been on a number of National Academy of Sciences committees, including Tox 20, the use of 21st century toxicology with folks, the Silver Book, Science and Decisions, Toxicity Testing, the 21st century, and a variety of other committees looking at risk assessment issues.
Hi, I'm Ilian Zhu, a professor of, I'm currently with the University of New Mexico School of Medicine, Department of Internal Medicine. I'm a professor there, and there I direct the biostatistics, epidemiology, and the research design core of the CTSC, as well as the same core for this Mountain West Translational Research Infrastructure Network. Trained in statistics, I do work in risk assessment concerning those response assessment and uncertainty analysis. I've served on the Formaldehyde Committee, the IRIS Committee, as well as the non-monotonic low-dose committee and the 21st Science for the 21st Century at the EPA committee, among others. Thank you.
I'm Ellen Mantis, and I am the National Academy's study director for this activity.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And I want to note that Sandy Baird is unable to participate in the committee's activities at the last moment, unfortunately. So with that, let me turn things over to Tina and Chris.